Welcome to another episode of the Michelle Clark Herd Show on YouTube and Facebook Live. Matt Noonan here with you alongside Cincinnati women's basketball head coach Michelle Clark Herd. And Coach, a very nice win for your team on the road 1 week ago at Temple. That was an Owls team that was previously unbeaten in conference play. And we talked about it heading in, that sometimes those road victories can be that spark that gets you going. And this game felt very much like a game that could be that.
Yeah, I was just really proud of our kids, just our ability to adjust and go on the road and, find a way to grind it out. It was a game of runs, kept going back and forth, and just was really proud of how we put things together and just worked to try to figure out what needed to be done. Different people stepped up at different times. Jillian Hayes had a great game. Destiny Hamer had a great game, almost had a triple-double. And so when you have those moments where different people are stepping up at different times, along with Amari, then it makes life so much easier. So I was just really proud of our effort, and especially through everything we're going through with all the different injuries, different lineup changes, and everything else.
We mentioned it kind of heading into the game, the potential for it, and then afterwards, I thought it felt a lot like the win at VCU last year. You talk about kind of a turning point. And we mentioned that game last year with Antoinette Miller being out with an injury, and the team rallying to come away with the win on the road. It kind of, with all the injuries you've had this year and the adversity you've had to fight against, it felt kind of a similar situation.
No, I totally agree with you. Anytime that you can get a team to rally together and just continue to keep working to find a way to win, that's the way you have to look at it. And you got to take also every single day, you got to take the small victories. And I think just growing and learning every single day is what it's all about. So just proud of our group, and we got to take day by day. And that's what we're trying to do and grow in every situation we possibly can without practice guys and putting them in situations where we can just understand, know what it looks like to compete. But the most important thing is really focusing on us, understanding our scout and what the other teams do, but what we need to do to be successful.
We'll talk about some of your players and kind of give updates on their progress and what you've been impressed with from them lately. Before we get to that, though, we'll mention a game yesterday against UCF, or rather on Sunday. Came away with the loss on the road, and we've seen kind of, I think, similar in some of the other losses this year, as you've mentioned. You'll see 25, 30 good minutes of basketball, and it's just that missing piece, those 5-10 minutes where – those 5-10 minutes make all the difference in the world, where, it was a big run from UCF on Sunday. But it seems like it's just kind of that missing piece that has been the difference in those games.
Well, and I think that's getting live game situation. Inconsistency is it's really hard when you're growing. We're growing and learning through playing games. And so I think that that's something that as a staff and also myself that I just have to continue to keep remembering every single day. So, we dropped a tough one, didn't play as well. But I just really, like you said, just kind of want to take every game and look at all the positives. We came back today, refocused, got some film session in, got on the floor and got after it in practice. And as a coaching staff, that's all we can ask our players. There's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. The great thing for us is we have an opportunity to play again here at home on Wednesday.
Great teams, it feels like that daily consistency is what you look for, regardless of the wins, the losses, the results. Being able to prepare the same way day in and day out, that's the mark of a good team, and that's what your teams the last 2 years have been able to do.
Well, and I think the difference in this year is, like we talked about, just prepping and preparing is different without scout guys. Our numbers are very low right now. And having just 8 or 9 that can practice, and we're throwing in, take my hat off to Jalen, my former player. She's been able to help us out a lot. And so we're just trying to do what we can do and make sure that we get better in those positions that we can.
We mentioned it all season that obviously the injury bug has been a challenge for the team this year, but from challenges come opportunities, and a lot of players have taken advantage of those opportunities, particularly in the last few weeks since we've turned the calendar to the new year. We'll go through some of them right now. First, I'd like to start with Jillian Hayes. I think we're really now starting to see exactly what she was bringing coming in and exactly what you saw in her, and said that's why we need her to be a Bearcat.
Well, and I think the most important thing for her is, she loves the game. She has, that pipeline in her family, from mom to dad, being athletes, to Jackson. And so I think it's awesome coaching her, because every single day she just comes in and goes to work and wants to get better. And I feel like, she's a freshman. She had 2 really good games, scored 16 and scored 20. And then really had a tough night struggling from the field against Central Florida. But she did try to do all the other things, and I think that's why the staff, her teammates, and everyone love just being around her and playing with her, and we love coaching her just because that effort's always there, and she's just going to continue to keep working.
Yeah, we see that the ceiling is a very high ceiling from her when she's clicking on all cylinders. Already one of the better players you'll find out on the court. Another player that's made a big difference for you has been Destiny Hamer. She's kind of been in and out of the lineup due to injuries this year, but getting her back has been so crucial for this team. You mentioned against Temple, nearly putting together a triple-double performance in that game. Yeah,
Destiny's been incredible for us. As far as, just her back and forth in the lineup, this post-COVID situation stuff is very serious, and so I think that there's times and situations that she's dealing with, and so it's just day by day at times, and but we're just so grateful for her. She's done so much, and you're right, just as really when she's out on the court, giving her all and coming into her own, and these are the things that the staff and I saw in her to come in here and really help fill some shoes with everything that we were missing in the guard spots with Antoinette and Sam and graduating Fofo.
Yeah, obviously the guard position was needing a lot to step into it, and Destiny's been a big addition to the team, as we've seen in the box scores, being able to not only score but get a lot of assists, get a lot of rebounds, and her presence has certainly been a boost for your team the last few weeks, being able to get her back in that starting lineup. Another boost for you has been with some outside shooting. Caitlin Wilson working her way in with some more minutes, set a career high in points this past weekend. And I think more than anything, it seems like she's just shooting the ball with more confidence now.
Yeah, and I think that's something, she was in the gym when, I came back up after practice, trying to get some shots up. And that's important for us. Of course, that's not something that we're known for. And I think that's something that we have to make sure that we get players that can knock down those open threes and shots when people are zoning us. So I think that she's really locked in and focused on trying to do those different things to be able to help the team.
We've talked about the injuries and turnover on the lineup this year. You've been able to get Ryan Burton back in your lineup or joining the lineup here in recent weeks, and that's been a nice boost too, to be able to get her in there and get her some minutes.
Yeah, Ryan has a very, she was, top 100, prospect coming in, and she has a lot of skill and a lot of skill set, and so just getting her back on the floor, getting comfortable, and I feel like the more she does that, the more minutes she'll continue to have, and as we said earlier, just understanding and knowing anything with this group because of our low numbers. There'll be different times and different situations where there'll be more minutes, there'll be, different things. So we just have to continue to just keep helping her get more accolade, feeling more comfortable on the court, and just understanding and knowing that, I tell her all the time, it's like riding a bike. Once you get on that bike, just keep going and understanding and knowing that you're going to get that feel for it back again.
Well, momentum is a real thing, and we felt it with several players. Once that momentum starts to pick up, it's the proverbial snowball rolling down the hill, and getting more minutes and getting more confidence. You hope that just continues to build, and we've seen that with several players on your team here over the last few weeks.
Yes, and that's what we're hoping. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Us growing every single day, our growth, and that's as a staff, that's what we continue to talk about. That's what we're going to make sure that we're focusing on. And again, as I said, just breaking the game down and understanding the small victories. One of the biggest victories that we do have is their sacrifices that they're bringing every single day to be able to come out and compete and be able to, give their all for this university.
It certainly is a season unlike anything we've seen before, and as you said, the sacrifice, the effort, the blood, sweat, and tears that everybody's pouring into it certainly does not go unnoticed. Taking a look now ahead, you're coming off of two road games over the last week. The next week, right back to Fifth Third Arena, which is always a welcomed sign. And it'll start against Memphis on Wednesday at 6 p.m. We've had some battles against Memphis the last couple of years, some really close games. They're a team that's added some really good recruits the last couple years. Dulcie Fancam Mengiadu, one of the best forwards in the league, always a tough battle with the Tigers.
Yes, you said it. And, Melissa does a great job. And, one thing that they do is, they play really hard and they're so competitive. And, they have an inside-out game. Like you said, one of the best forwards in the league, rebounding and scoring. And then, they have guards that can shoot it from the outside, light it up. And so that's something that I feel like it's a great balance that they have. They'll press a little. They like to get up and down the floor. They'll change up their defenses at times. She runs a lot of great set situations for her players to get them in great, have them to have great opportunities to be able to score where their strengths are. So we're going to be locked in and focused on our game plan. We got to get better at getting stops and guarding. And then making sure that we have the opportunity to get up and down the floor in transition.
Like your team, Memphis also they've had their struggles with the scheduling, having a lot of their games have to be canceled, postponed due to COVID protocol. 5 games already in total this year for them. That makes it tough for all the teams involved. Obviously, we've had it here in Cincinnati, but it also makes it difficult, I'd imagine, just trying to scout and kind of get a sense of the rhythm of the opposing team, knowing that they've had a disjointed schedule as well.
It does. I think that's one thing that, you said is so true. Like, we just have to make sure. I think we go back to talking about our team and making sure that we're focused on the things that we need to do so we can be successful, understanding and knowing personnel, and understanding and knowing that anything can happen on any time, as far as what players are going to be on the floor, what that's going to look like, trying to prep the team and prepare them for, possibly a team that might have played a lot more man like they normally have done. They're playing some zone now, probably because of numbers. So just really trying to prepare our team to make sure that we're ready to go no matter what that looks like. And so I think that's the challenge, and that's the biggest challenge, I feel like, as a staff. But I think the most important thing is to prepare your team to just know that they can be great at what they're doing and focusing on the things we can control.
Feels like flexibility is such an important trait to have this year, not only with your own team, but then also as you prepare game by game, knowing that you might see something different from the opposing team based on them having to make adjustments. But everybody has to be so flexible this year.
Yes, it's so true. And I think that's something that we just have to look at, and we have to understand that, and we have to get locked in. And I told the players again today, understanding and knowing every time we get to play is an amazing opportunity. And so just making sure that we focus on that and understand that, and don't take any day for granted.
Certainly happy to have every opportunity we have to play this year, and hoping to continue to have those opportunities. That'll be on Wednesday, coming up at 6 p.m. at Fifth Third Arena, Cincinnati and Memphis. And then you'll have a little bit of a period off, a whole week until your next game, coming up next Wednesday, again at home at Fifth Third Arena, taking on Wichita State. And it'll be the second time you faced off against the Shockers. You were able to get a 65-59 road victory in Wichita just a little bit ago. What can you take from that first game and apply it to the second game as you try to get another win?
Well, I think it's kind of what you said earlier, a little bit like we were discussing about Memphis. Wichita State has been in, had some game cancellations a lot too. So I think what we have to do is just be prepared and ready for what that looks like and what allowed us to have success when we went there, and making sure that we come out and we compete at that level. But also, I'm one of those ones when you have success against a team, you look at what you are allowed to do. Of course, there'll be change-ups, there'll be different things, but really focusing on all the important things that you did to get that win. So making sure we're guarding, making sure we're rebounding, making sure we're getting the shots that we need to get, and taking care of the basketball.
I think the rematches every year are always fascinating because you're looking at it from a perspective of, okay, does the team that won the first time, are they able to do what brought them success again? Do they have to find a different way to win? Does the opposing team find a way to adjust and learn from the first game? That always, I think, adds an extra wrinkle into the storylines coming in.
No, I totally agree. I think that's something that you have to look at, and you have to understand the coaches and the styles and normally what that's like. Sometimes there's coaches that they're going to do what they do, and there's some coaches that like to change up and do different things. As I think people will probably say that about me. Like we try to change up and do different things, and so I just think it's all about the style of how that coach is and how they run their program.
When we look at your team's 2 wins recently here on the road at Wichita State and at Temple, I think one of the things that was very valuable from both of them, you had to make some big plays down the stretch in both of those games on the road. We look at Wichita, and Aram Niang had to hit that big shot in the final minute that didn't really seal it, but kind of made it a little bit more comfortable for you. And then we saw Julian Hayes hit the big shot against Temple. But both of those games, you really had to work hard down to the wire to get those victories.
Well, I think the most important thing, like you said, is that, we played a full game in both of those games. And I think that's something that we've just really tried to lock into and make sure that we just get to the point that we can do that. That's really important for us. So that's our goal. That's our goal for Wednesday when we come out. And then just talking to our group about one day at a time, one game at a time, and focusing on the now and playing really hard for 40 minutes so we can have a chance to win in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Well, we know those small improvements every day, those small victories that you talked about, they add up. We've been seeing them add up for a lot of players on your team, really kind of starting to find their rhythm, hit their stride here in the new year. And we got that big win at Temple, chance to try to get things going now here in a week at home. Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. We'll talk with you again here in 2 weeks, along with our previews on GoBearcats.com. And best of luck against Memphis on Wednesday.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's head coach Michelle Clark-Heard. Cincinnati takes on Memphis on Wednesday at Fifth Third Arena. Game tips off at 6 p.m. and will be aired live on ESPN+. That'll do it for this edition of the Michelle Clark-Heard Show. For Coach Michelle Clark-Heard, this is Matt Noonan saying so long, and we'll see you next time.